Majeed, the big strike that PENGASSAN has been threatening has started. It's begun today. And what we know is the federal government has decided to wade in through the Ministry of Labor and Employment. The minister has invited both parties, Dangote Group and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, for a meeting today. What's your take on the ongoing impasse? This one particular one between PENGASSAN and Dangote, which has to do with said 800 workers who've been relieved of their employment.
Now, if you recall, when the issue of Nupeng came up about a week or two ago, I had asked them who was the complainant. Dangote workers complaining that they want to join Nupeng, and Dangote is preventing them. And my opinion then was, well, as long as nobody is complaining from Dangote, then Nupeng can as well allow Dangote to be. But again, what we're having with PENGASSAN today is different, completely different from what happened then. That is, this time around, we're having workers from Dangote Refinery complaining, writing to PENGASSAN, saying that because they opted willingly to join PENGASSAN, they are now being victimized. That they have been relieved of their appointment, of their employment rather, and have been substituted by Indians in the facility. Let me state it clearly again, that unionism in Nigeria is voluntary. An employer cannot prevent an employee from unionizing. Neither can an employer victimize an employee from victimized for unionizing. Dangote must comply with labor laws. If his workers have decided to unionize accordingly, he must respect their wishes. And this is one battle that he cannot win, this particular one, because over 800 workers have said, we want to join PENGASSAN. It is out of, nobody forced them. They decide that it is best, it's in their own best interest to be part of this body. So it can protect their interests through collective bargaining principle, which is the major reason for unionism. Where an injury to one is an injury to all. This is the only way workers protect themselves. And Dangote will not be the first private investor whose workers will unionize. Alex, what do you call him? Mr. Osifo, the president of TUC, and the president of PENGASSAN, is a private sector worker. He works with Total Energy. From Mobi to Chevron to all other oil companies operating in the upstream, midstream, or downstream, all have unions. Construction companies have unions. As media practitioners, we have our unions. We have our Guild of Editors. We have our NUJ. We have all of that. And I don't think our employers have prevented us from subscribing willingly to any of these unions.
We have Ratao.
Why should Dangote be different? This is a needless controversy on its part. Dangote cannot want to be a monopoly. At the same time, does not want to be regulated. And at the same time, does not want unionization in his company. It means it's above the law. It means it's above the Nigerian state. It is not fair. It is not right.
All right.
And there's nothing sentimental about it.
All right. Can we also, look at what Dangote is saying as well? This is what the paper put out. Where is this again? All right. So yeah, it's what it's saying that the manager of Dangote Petroleum Refinery, in its immediate reaction to the strike last night, berated PENGASSAN, accusing the union of decades-long sabotage of Nigeria's oil and gas sector and serving the interests of its leaders rather than, ordinary Nigerians. So that's what the company is saying.
That's not true. That is contrary to the facts. For every dollar Nigeria earns from crude oil sales, it is thanks to the sweat, to the blood, to the energy of PENGASSAN. Maybe Dangote should really go and study the sector he's trying to really invest in, more than he has done. PENGASSAN, at a point in time in this country, even came into politics to oppose the military. Remember Frank Okori the late Quadry. He was president of PENGASSAN. Even Nupeng strike at the point also helped to put pressure on the then military administration of Abacha to hasten transition to civil rule. These are noble, very noble unions. We cannot criminalize everybody. Dangote cannot be criminalizing the regulator, NMDPRA. Cannot be criminalizing, cannot be scandalizing unions, long-standing unions that have members cutting across international oil companies like Total, like Chevron, like Mobil and others, who have far bigger investments in Nigeria in terms of crude exploration that fits this country than what Dangote is doing to us by crude refineries. He needs to respect. Look, I don't understand the mindset the promoters of Dangote industry or Dangote Refinery came on board this industry. It's a mindset that needs to change. This is not trading in sugar and
we have a group, Majeed, for instance, the Consumer Forum, Concerned Nigerian Consumers Forum, raising the alarm over what, this is still from today's Vanguard, raising the alarm over what it described as desperate attempts by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria to undermine the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. And that's what they're saying. This is all about the politics of what's at play. We also have a number of other groups. I won't go into that, but this is what the paper is saying. All right. Now, they're saying in the statement, the refinery described PENGASSAN's latest directive to cut crude oil and gas supplies to the facility as another act of economic sabotage designed to inflict untold hardship of Nigerians. This is what the refinery says as well in its statement. It says, Dangote recalled that in 2007, when the federal government sold its moribund Port Harcourt and Kaduna refineries to Blue Star Consortium. I'm sure you remember Blue Star Consortium. Yes, okay. Led by Dangote Group for $750 million under late President Yar'Adua. It was PENGASSAN and its ally, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, who sabotaged the deal. You know that story well. I'm reading the statement from Dangote. It is now obvious that everyone that the federal government's decision at the time was the right one, and that PENGASSAN and NUPENG ignominiously wrote their names on the wrong pages of history. It says it has also faulted the union's role in the much publicized and rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery, describing it as a ruse which PENGASSAN knowingly celebrated despite being a scam on Nigerians. All right, so that's a bit. I can't go into all of it.
PENGASSAN, by its orientation, is a pan-Nigerian organization, fiercely pan-Nigerian. And for some of us who believe that national assets should be separated from private participators, so that the government can have a stake, particularly in energy, is what PENGASSAN tried to champion then. And I was one of those who faulted and still fought the move to privatize the refineries. Nigeria is the only OPEC country without its own functional refinery that is state-owned. You can blame corruption for it. Let us focus on fighting the corruption that has made it impossible for these refineries to work. That is what we should be focusing on. Not saying we should throw the bath water away with the baby.